Hi, my name is Emily Williams with the Don Williams Group, and today I have Howard Wimbow CPA. We are going to be discussing some of the new tax laws that are in effect for 2018. So if you would like to give a brief synopsis as to what is staying the same and what is different.
It's a very widespread act. It really noodles with a million things. There's a lot of stuff is getting talked, a lot of stuff isn't. But there are a myriad of small changes throughout all the provisions in the tax code. In my studying of the new law and seminars that I've attended, you can draw an invisible line that doesn't officially exist anywhere in there. And if your income is under $150,000, $160,000, somewhere in there, you're going to break even or benefit from the law. It's going to take some things away from you. It's going to give you some benefits. If you're in that income group, if you're over $150,000, $500,000, in that range, these are people who are now discovering that they're the rich people the news keeps talking about.
Okay.
And they're going to find their taxes going up. We'll get into the details.
Okay, perfect. And then what do you see in regards to what people, homeowners especially, will be able to write off on their taxes?
The big thing, again, that's getting the hype in the press is limiting the mortgage balance to $750,000.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to be first of all, everything that existed before December 2017 is grandfathered in.
Perfect.
So nothing, it doesn't change existing situations. Moving forward, though, it was that you could deduct mortgage interest up to $1 million and home equity lines of credit up to $100,000, making a practical $1.1 million. That's now been limited to $750,000. I believe as it was going through Congress, they had limited it to $500,000, and there was a compromise where they took it to $750,000. In my practice, I don't find that's going to really be a significant impact on anyone. Most middle-class folks have a mortgage of less than $500,000 anyway, so the $750,000 won't impact them. And the clients that had greater than $1 million mortgage, it was already well greater than $1 million. And there were calculations that I had to do anyway in order to limit their mortgage deduction. Now it's just going to be limited more, but those are the very high income earners, and there's other planning techniques for their total tax situation.
Okay, and what about interest and taxes, property taxes?
That's another one that's getting a lot of play that is significant. They are limiting what they're calling it SALT, state and local taxes. The deduction on your Schedule A, if you itemize deductions, is limited to $10,000. And this is a good illustration of what I was talking about. We're here in Sussex County, Delaware. Everyone knows how we're renowned for having $1,000 property taxes. So if you do the math on the Delaware income tax rates of roughly 6%, high school algebra, you'll see that if you have $1,000 in property taxes, and if you make no more than $150,000, tax at 6%, you're going to find yourself hitting that $10,000, and it's not going to affect you. The people who are being affected are the people who I believe are buying into this market that are coming from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, etc. Even over on the Western Shore of Maryland in the metro area. In those situations, their taxes are routinely greater than $10,000, and they're going to take a haircut.
Okay. Wow. Alrighty. And then what are sorry, I'm just trying to think. what do you recommend for people with the new tax laws?
That's a very broad question. It would depend on where someone is in their life and where they're trying to get in their life. That would vary if I'm talking to a 30-year-old with a first child versus a 75-year-old with a first great-grandchild. Tax law applies to everyone, and you tailor it towards their individual situation. Trying to help you now and think of something in there. Go ahead, give me another one.
Well, I was just thinking of commonly asked questions, and I know that the new thing is the 2018 taxes.
The standard deduction is one that's really a lot of people are impacted by. In prior years, you could have between your state and local taxes and your mortgage and your charity. You could easily be more than the standard deduction in itemizing, but only getting an itemized deduction of $12,000, $15,000. And if you're a married taxpayer, your standard deduction is now $24,000. You still, as in the way the tax regime has always been, you pick the higher of the two, standard or the itemized. But they have raised the standard. At the same time, they've taken away the personal exemption. So that comes into play. Let's say you're a single person. Just to make it easier, your standard deduction is now $12,000.
Okay.
In past years, you had a standard deduction of $6,500 and a personal exemption of $4,000. So that's $10,500. So you're going to get $12,000. They're taking one of this goes to where I started. They're taking away. They're giving some. So you'll benefit $1,500. And all of the tax brackets, pretty much all of the tax brackets have been reduced by 3 percentage points, not to be confused by 3% reduction. In other words, the 25% rate is 22%. The 15% rate is 12%. So there's a general tax break in everything, while at the same time, they try to attack what the politicians would call loopholes, which is just the law is written.
Gotcha. All right, perfect. If anyone has any questions, thoughts?
Do we get to see questions?
Yeah, it'll come up.
Oh, okay.
But there aren't any questions as of the moment, so it was a pleasure meeting with you. And if someone had questions about taxes, how could they get in contact with you? They
could contact me. I have offices in Lewis, Delaware, Ocean City, Maryland, and my number is 302-539-0829.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you again for meeting with me and discussing the 2018 taxes. Some of the new laws that are coming into play, and thanks again.